There we go. Hi guys, welcome to Elena's Barre, low impact full body workouts. We are here with Melody today, and we have a very interesting topic, very controversial topic for you guys today. It's all related to our experience, especially my experience, recent experience with the dentist. I'll tell you a brief story. So I went to the dentist to check up on our teeth a few days ago. And then I have to do some dental work. It made me thinking because look, with age, women decline, and it doesn't really matter what like even if we take care of ourselves, we can help and prevent certain issues from happening, such as osteoporosis, right? If we take care of our bone density and exercise, for example, this could help you. But there are certain things that are kind of out there because we all do that, right? Over time, our organism is not the same as it used to be, and we might have some dental issues, we might have some vision issues, which is yet to come. We still have to go to check on our eyes. And I was telling to Melody, and we were kind of laughing at it, that I don't understand these entitled women who think that they are these great human beings, they are these super gifts that men should take care of when they require huge sums of money and huge expenses, like medical bills, right? And my bill is not the greatest out there because I'm a relatively healthy person, but as I mentioned before, I was pretty shocked by the dental bill that is still due because they still need to do some dental work there. And men, when they are dating women, when they are choosing to marry a woman, I think it's a legitimate concern for you men to ask women for their medical history, because honestly, you don't know what you're getting. You're getting a cat in the basket that, she might look good on the outside, but if you dig inside, if you look into your mouth, for example, if you talk to your dentist and if you talk to your gynecologist, you might find out things that you may not want to deal with later. And this is kind of the topic that we were talking with Melody. What do you think, Melody? I know you have similar thoughts as I do, and yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of up to, I guess, each individual couple, how much they want to share. I also think it's, typically if you're working towards something like marriage, you do want to feel like you can be completely open with your partner. And it is any sort of investment, like, or any sort of relationship is an investment, but you kind of want to have an idea of what you're starting out with so that you can never plan totally for the future, but you can have an idea. Like, if you know that the person that you're marrying has a congenital kidney defect and they have to have dialysis several times a week, like, that's something that is going to cost money. Even if you have insurance, you've got to kind of schedule your life around that, and make it to the appointments and stuff. And by all means, if that person is, if you have things in common and you love each other, and that's wouldn't be something that you're not a jet setter, you're not having to like travel the world every 2 weeks, you'd be totally fine staying with this person, then totally fine. But if that's not something that's compatible with your lifestyle, it's something that you need to be realistic with. Like, even if other things you're totally compatible on. And then there's also, I think too, there's so many like kind of things that when people get into relationships, they aren't an issue yet. You can live with high cholesterol for years before it turns into heart failure or any of the other sort of issues that can be involved with having high cholesterol, or just even being extremely overweight, and like your joints are fine, but after 10 to 15 years of carrying around a lot of extra weight, are you going to be able to you know, enjoy like going on little vacations together if that's something that you currently like to do. So there, yeah, I think that there is something to be said for, you know, and like I said, it's certainly up to every couple, like what they want to do, but at the same time, if you're going for something like
Well,
marriage, you can't
it
be
also
too invasive,
depends on,
really.
I think it depends on who bears the financial liability and responsibility. You know, if a woman is capable of paying for her own medical bills and taking care of her own health, and she treats her husband or as a partner, let's say, and then the guy is just taking care of himself, and then they are kind of combining their resources and helping each other out in a partnership, then maybe it makes sense. But in most case scenarios, let's be honest, how many women can do that? I've just watched a few videos by Jedediah. Guys, and if you haven't followed her, if you haven't checked her classes, I wanted to say, your videos, your podcast, Jedediah Bila. She is talking about some very interesting topics there, and I highly recommend you to check her out. And yeah, if you are like a public figure as a woman and you can maintain yourself and you make a lot of money by yourself, then sure, you know. But if you still that kind of woman, or maybe like on average, let's be honest, not that many women are like Jedediah Bila, right? And a lot of women who even make a little bit of money, they think that, oh, I'm such a precious human being. I'm making my own money. I can maintain myself. Okay, how much of that money that you make is going to cover your medical bills? Or do you still want your man that you date or that you marry later on to cover your medical bills? You know, if the question is that you still are dependent on a man and rely on his help, then maybe you should change your attitude about that man who is going to take care of you. Because why on earth would a man want to take care of a bitter bitch who doesn't appreciate what he's doing and who is a total entitled freak out there, you know, who is just convinced, oh, you should just, I still want my agency, I still want my independence, I still want this and that. Oh, and in addition to that, you men have to pay for my medical bills. You still have to provide for me. You still have to take care of me. Whatever money I make is my money. I can spend it on all sorts of stupid shit, like buying some cosmetics, you know, traveling, partying with my girlfriends, you know, and you still maintain it. I hate it when I see women, I like honestly hate it. And you know this, Melody. I've told you that multiple times already. I know. Women who say, oh, I'm a working mother, an entrepreneur, and I'm this and that. And I'm like, fuck. You know, you are just a woman who is living at the expense of your man. Why can you do all of these things? Have you questioned yourselves, where does the money come from? It doesn't come from your entrepreneurship, you know. Maybe you make 10,000 a year, well, maybe you make more, good for you. I don't know, you know. I don't honestly care. But if you are married, your husband is still probably making more money than you are, and otherwise you would not have been married to this dude, you know, if he made less money than you were, you know. And he's still taking care of the major bills. He's still taking care of the kids going through college. He's still taking care of the house bills, which are a lot of bills. Either you're renting a house, you're paying for the mortgage, as Melody mentioned. He's still paying for the car bills. He's paying for food. You know, how much of your money that you make in the business goes to cover some family expenses, not your entertainment. I don't care. Like, well, yeah, maybe you buy yourself a bra, you know, maybe you buy yourself like a few nail polishes, you know, or whatever they, you know, easy kind of things, you know, that you could afford, you know. Do you contribute to the family expenses, or do you just suck it up for yourself? So whatever man is doing is yours, and then whatever you are doing is also yours. See, I really don't like this kind of thinking, you know.
Well, I don't think that that would really lead to like a long-term healthy relationship. Just and yeah, even when women do get to the point of like if they're in a a marriage and they do a side business and it does get to the point where potentially, you know, they could support themselves 100% and all that, like even without their man's help. You know, there's a lot of times, a lot of situations where like it takes a lot of time and kind of investment of, yeah, money, resources, time to get something started. And a lot of times if you don't have, you know, financial backing and support during that time period, like you can't ever get anywhere. And so yeah, I mean, if someone does get into a situation where, yeah, they've started a business and they're, you know, making six figures a year, yeah, it's important to, you know, still be like grateful for like the opportunity to do that and like appreciative of like the husband's input and not just kind of like throw him under the bus and be like, well, I don't need you anymore, which, you know, is really sad because sometimes you see that happen, that, you know, once someone's making enough that like they don't feel like they need their husband for financial reasons, they move on. And that's, you know, not acceptable, especially when it's due to the husband's like financial and, you know, other support, just emotional, like being there to bounce ideas off of. You know, it's all of that that like enabled them to get to the point where they're financially anyway. So
Yeah, that's a good point, Melody. You're bringing up a very good point. I've seen a lot of women who get their businesses settled, and then they are making more money than their men in some cases, and then they want men who make more money than them, so they kick off the current husband and go on the you know, search for a man who are more like wealthier. And yeah, that female hypogamy is a thing, you know, it's just something that runs in the nature. And you even tell me like, oh, you know, not all women are like that. Unfortunately, all of us are like that, you know. It's the extent, also the degree. If a woman is trainable and if she is more compliant and if she understands, you know, if she's more rational and she understands yeah, where does the money come from, who is paying for me even to have a little bit of fun, you know, because without that kind of support, I doubt you will be owning your business, you know. I doubt you will be where you are right now. It was either your father maybe who helped you to set up your business, you know, so that you don't need no. And this is, gosh, it's a big problem actually when you know, I wouldn't call them necessarily like the sugar daddy. Those are the women who marry up, you know, like all the guys, right? They are considered to be those. But you see this daughter daddy kind of relationship where daddy is taking care of everything, you know, and then a girl is just a brat. She doesn't know how to be a wife, and because daddy is taking care of all of the things for the girl, you know. So by the time the girl, she never has to mature, because why would she give up sex? Why would she have to deal with a man if everything, she can get everything she wants, you know, through her dad, and she doesn't have to sleep with her dad, right? I mean, like, that would be like a really weird kind
yeah,
of,
hopefully not. That's
hopefully not, right? In a normal
not okay.
yeah, in a normal healthy kind of relationship, yeah, dads usually are the ones who don't evaluate women based their daughters based on sex, right? Yeah. And then you see a lot of spoiled women out there, and they don't know how to deal with men because daddy has been dealing with all of their problems and solving everything for them. And then they actually want a sugar daddy in that case. You know, it's like somebody older who is the same age as their dad, but they don't have to uh, give up as much, you know, like no sex, like almost, I don't know, some women do, you know, but it's kind of that that way of like mentality or thinking that you know, They assume that everybody owes them just because they have this super debt. And then debt is not going to stay there forever for you. Debt is going to die eventually. Then what will you do? If you are incapable.
I think they expect to get a big inheritance, probably. But
Probably, but if they still, why did the dowry concept exist before? And the men who were marrying the girl would get the inheritance from her parents, so that a man could run the business. A woman would just pop up kids, procreate and take care of the children, but a man would be in the family business, right? This is why the dads back then, they realized how much drainage or black hole investment their daughters were, maybe, to some extent. And they were willing to pay to younger men to take their daughters out of their shoulders, let's say, so that the dads wouldn't have to take care of their daughters anymore. So it would be somebody else's problem. This is why a guy would get like a business or a payment. So usually it was like a big sum of, not like compensation, but yeah, some money to maintain, to help him out, not his daughter. I don't think women need as much help as men do, honestly, because what has it done to our society? It just taught women how to not appreciate men, how to survive by themselves using the government, and the judicial system. They try to twist it, towards their needs. They try to bend it so that it doesn't benefit men in any way. It's unconstitutional. And women are just incapable of pair bonding. They've lost the capacity to stay married, be in the family, and I don't see how it leads to good, healthy society later on, honestly. And back then, when women knew that, okay, we had limits of what we could do, yeah, sure, you can study now, you get all the rights as men do, but know your duties. If you are in a marriage and the man is the provider, just stay at home. And as you've mentioned before, a lot of men would much rather prefer a woman staying at home and being a wife, being a mother, for their children, rather than making 10,000 a year and then like doing all the crazy stuff that women are doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's like a kind of agreed upon, like we're gonna have more of like a business partner type relationship in the marriage. But yeah, I feel isn't right is when there's like that kind of bait and switch, where like someone gets married, it's like, yeah, we're gonna do kind of the traditional, family thing. You be the husband, I be the wife, and then the wife tries to be the husband as well. And that's like when, you start getting into conflict, and unfortunately it doesn't always end well.
Yeah.
I suppose maybe some people can make it work well, but yeah, kind of like changing the rules of the game, like, once you've already started playing. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. So
yeah, let us know what you think, guys. It's a very hard topic to talk about, I know. Leave us your comments. Remember to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so that you don't miss on the upcoming workouts and interesting discussions with Elena's Barre Teachers community. And thank you, Melody, for joining me today for this challenging discussion. Take care. I'll see you soon.
all right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.